We also test concrete. Mostly with concrete, you test it in beam breakers so that you destroy the sample because you're looking for tensile strength. But when we do a project for IDOT, they specify what they want. In other words, do they want a concrete road? Do they want an asphalt road? Do they want steel beams on a bridge like we saw? Do they want precast concrete beams on a bridge? They'll specify in the bid documents what they want. But as far as the mix, the composition of this, we do have leeway on the composition of this product. We will come up with a mix design in our laboratory, and then IDOT will have to approve that mix design. They won't let you just go out there and put anything down. They have to approve it, but we can come up with a mix design that may be less expensive for us to make than some other mix design. When they indicate to us what product they want us to use, that's not a flip of the coin. They've gone back and they've looked at raw material prices. They've looked at the price in place. They've also looked at life cycle costs. Life cycle costs in our industry refer to how much it's going to cost over time to maintain that pavement. I assume that in vertical construction you probably have the same thing. Somebody is deciding whether that building is going to have a steel skin, whether it's going to have wood shingles on the outside, whether it's going to be masonry, whether it's going to be brick. Probably not in home construction, but in commercial construction, somebody is looking at that and looking at a maintenance factor going forward 10 to 15 years, and that's exactly what IDOT does in an effort to determine the best product for the best location. The stone that we get that you saw being produced in this part of the country, it either comes in rail cars or it comes in trucks. So it's tested at the plant where it was produced. Then when it comes to our stockpiles, we have to retest it again. And again, that'll be in the laboratory. Go ahead, go ahead again. We'll show you this on Wednesday. Now, when the material gets to the asphalt plant, we use end loaders, heavy equipment, to make the proper blends. And what did I do with my clicker? Did I lose it? Oh, there it is. Good thing. These will be different kinds of aggregate in each of these bins, and we will have determined the mix design that we want in order to get that finished product. Obviously, we use an end loader to feed these bins, and then the material goes through these feeders, and each of those feeders are calibrated, and again, to give you a proper mix design. They're then loaded on what's called a gathering conveyor, and they come up to the asphalt plant. Go ahead. Would come up here and end up dropping into the dryer. This is where it's heated. This, incidentally, is called a bag house, and its only purpose is to take dust out of the mixing process so that there's nothing that comes out of this stack except steam. So when you see an asphalt plant running, you won't see any dirt or anything else coming out, and the reason is a bag house. There's about 800 basically what look like vacuum cleaner bags in there that are about 8 inches in diameter and about 14 feet long. And the air just goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and comes out the back. As a matter of fact, that dust that we collect is collected down here, and there's another conveyor here, and we bring it up here, and we use it back in the asphalt mix. So we don't waste any of that dust that's collected. And as a matter of fact, that dust that's collected looks very much like the raw cement that you may use in here occasionally. And that's a very expensive product. So the more we can collect, the better, the better off we as an asphalt producer are. This again is just part of that dryer. The hot product comes out here, comes up this, what we call a slat conveyor. Go ahead.
Double barrel is just a name or a real thing, double barrel?
Pardon? Oh, that's just their product name. That's just like, you know, Chevy or Ford. Comes up this slat conveyor, and then the hot mix asphalt goes into these two silos. We are able to store asphalt hot asphalt for a certain period of time because these, again, have pipes around the outside. The state of Illinois would allow us to keep asphalt in these storage containers for about 24 hours. But most contractors don't like to store asphalt that long. We can store it here if you have a shortage of trucks for a while before, you know, you can stop the process and the trucks will pull under here, and then we can load them quickly and get them out. But by and large, in Illinois, you don't store that asphalt more than a couple hours. Concrete, as you well know, once it's dropped in the mixer truck and the water added, you just have an hour. So we have a little bit of an advantage there, but these are the asphalt storage tanks. Once the asphalt is loaded in trucks, it comes back out onto the highway. This was down on I-70. It's dumped from here either directly in the paver or in this case into a material transfer device. Go ahead. There'll be another picture of a material transfer device. There it is. And this just has a capacity of remixing it, and it can store about 35 tons in here. So again, you don't have to have a truck in front of the paver each time. So it gives you a little bit of leeway when you're laying asphalt. This is the paver, and then the mix goes through the paver and is flattened out back here.
This truck or this container has the ability or capacity to heat, keep hot?
No, it's insulated, and there's great big augers in there, so it has the capacity of mixing it.
Just mix, but not heating hot.
Not heating, no. This again, it comes up here, drops into this thing, and then goes in the paver, and then is flattened out. Gets some density through the paver, but is flattened out in the back. This is a Blawnox paver that used to be made in Mattoon. They're now made in Pennsylvania. Just another picture. Go ahead. This was another operation we'll talk about in a little bit, but on Interstate 70 it had gone way beyond its design life. So we went in there and we crushed up the original concrete pavement. I'll show you that in a second. And so we didn't want to run trucks on that crushed up stone. So again, we used a material transfer device, and we had the paver over here. This was a national demonstration project put on by the Asphalt Pavement Association. So those crazy looking cowboy hats are actually hard hats. Why they did that, I have no idea.
Just roughly, what are the layers from the soil to the finished product? How many layers do we have?
On Interstate 70, we put about 17 inches of asphalt, 17 on this particular highway. The first lift was 6 inches thick, and then we went up in various lengths, various thicknesses of probably another 4 and a 4, and then probably 2, 2, and on up to the top.
Do you call these base or sub-base?
The mixes will be different, and so you refer to it as the mix used rather than base or sub-base. Yeah, so we would be putting down what's called a binder mix, and then it would have a number associated with it, a 105 or something like that. Go ahead. This again was when we were laying the 6-inch lift of asphalt. Go ahead. And here again, you can see how thick that lift of asphalt was.
The next layer would blend to this after it hardens?
Yes, absolutely. It will normally adhere to it very, very well. Down here on Interstate 70, because of the traffic volume, we did spray prime, and that's a prime truck right there. We sprayed prime on every single lift to give it more of an adhesive. On a normal roadway, you may or may not do that depending on what the state specs are.
Now, coming from Mattoon to us, you drove east on Lincoln, and you have this pump. Well, why is that?
Well, because that was originally a concrete pavement, and that's the cracks in the concrete pavement. And that was one thing that they wanted to eliminate on I-70, so we went in and we crushed up all the concrete pavement. And again, we'll see some pictures. Go ahead. And we made it back to stone so that there wouldn't be any bumps. This is the rollers that we had on Interstate 70. Go ahead. Again, more equipment, more rolling. Go ahead. This was, again, these were the bridges that we had down here that we had to raise because of adding 17 or 17 and a half inches. So we took the bridge decks off of that, and we reused the steel, but we took all the concrete off, we cleaned up the steel, we put new studs back on the steel, raised the abutments in the piers, or we tore out the piers, used the abutments, and raised the bridge by 17 inches, and then we poured a new bridge deck.
When you have a thick layer like this, for example, cooling, do you have any problem with differential cooling? I mean, this cools first and this is still hot.
Not as long as you have good warm weather, like you might have in June, July, or August. When you get into October, November, early December, then you do have some problems that way.
Any cracks? Any?
That's always a possibility. Around here, we pretty much stop paving before Thanksgiving. Now, down in the southern areas, they'll pave longer than that, but part of the problem is cracking.